Hello and good evening and welcome to Camnet Television News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo to present our top stories in the news tonight. Government guns down one marauding lion in KAFUE district. ZIPAH tells government to ease tax burdens on citizens. Bishop MFULA urges the church to be a solution to the country's needs. In international news, United Arab Emirates appoints His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al NAHYAN as next president. And in sports news, under-16 boys attract Georgia top flight side test.
Are you a married man or woman? Are you encountering challenges in your marriage? Are you planning to take your marriage and love relationship to higher levels? Your business platform is all set for you as a couple. You are invited to attend Zambia's First Love and Marriage plus Business Conference. Amidst uncertainties in the economy, higher divorce rate in the world, plan to be one of the most successful couple in Zambia. Date 28th May 2022. Time from 9 hours to 16 hours. Participation fee 1,200 kwacha per couple. Lunch inclusive. For registration, payment can be done through MTN mobile money on 0962 965 883 or 0979 753 010 for Airtel Money. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International. Speakers, Professor and Mrs. Catherine Munkumba. And your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilo. This is a must-attend conference. Plan and make a date with us. Your lives, marriage and future will never be the same. Remember, we are born for greatness. Book for your seats by calling 0962 965 883. See you on the 28th May 2022.
Your love always brings me back.
Hello again, another news in detail. Government says it has gunned down one marauding lion that had been reported roaming around Shimabala area for the past 14 days. Ministry of Tourism Permanent Secretary Evans Mohanga says all efforts to tranquilize, capture and translocate the lion proved futile, hence the decision to gun it down. Mr. Mohanga says a sub-adult male was brought down by the Department of National Parks officers in the early hours of Friday, the 13th of May 2022, when it was flushed out of its hiding place in the thickets and suddenly charged towards the officers in attack. And the Department Permanent Secretary Mr. Mohanga said since there have been rumors circulating about suspected presence of more than one lion, members of the public should be on high alert and promptly report confirmed sightings or observations such as footprints and attacks to humans or on livestock.
We just want to inform members of the public and the nation through you that the lion that was reported basically to be around KAFUE has actually been controlled, and what I mean is that it has been shot down. Of course, the idea was that they needed to tranquilize it, so that they dart it. That was the first option. But you know that this particular task, it's a very delicate task. They've been at it for the last 2 weeks, and there were all these rumors. There's a rolling lion on this side, there's a rolling lion on this side, but they had to zero in at the farm where it was. And as you know, there were aspects of where they had to use also ZAF airline in terms of just checking that they can be able to locate the exact place where it was. We are in a season where it's really a thicket, so sometimes the task became quite impossible to be able to just see it clearly. But today, basically in the early hours today of 14th May, when it was flushed out now from its hiding place in the thickets, so there was very little time from what we have been told by the officers who were actually doing the task, that it had to charge towards them. And obviously when it charges to avoid human life loss, they had to shoot it. And this is basically the lion that you are able to see here. But we just want to urge the members of the public also that they need to be alert, because those who are telling us that there are other lions, maybe we haven't yet established. What we know is that this is the only one that was spotted, and they've managed to basically bring it down.
Residents of Misisi and Chibolia compounds, among them persons with disabilities, have called for the establishing of social welfare officers in targeted communities for easy identification of vulnerable persons. In an interview, the residents say this will also help in assessing the full extent of vulnerabilities in communities to attract relevant measures. Zambia is signatory to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, with goal number 1 aimed at ending poverty in all its forms. More in this report.
The Department of Social Welfare under the Ministry of Community Development and Social Services has the mandate to promote quality social welfare services aimed at alleviating poverty, reducing destitution, and promoting family values, among others. This is aimed at helping the country arrive towards its 2030 goals of ending poverty in all its forms and reducing inequalities. According to the United Nations, Zambia's poverty levels currently stand at about 54% of the population, with some communities in the country manifesting vulnerability more than others. Residents of Chibolia and Misisi compounds in Lusaka, among them persons with disabilities, have called for more sensitization on how one can get assistance from this department, further calling for these offices to be placed in each and every community across the country.
Bafunika bakakoma offices kuno ku community. Like 3 days ago, kwenze mzimai winangu enzofuna ti alembese mwana even though alina card, so enzofuna bamene badi in charge ya yolemba, so nakangi okumulangiza kaidi siniziba njala even iliko njala even kaidi bambiri sibasebenza badibe na makapito so even iliko njala.
They should come in markets so that if we face challenges, we know where to go. We face so many problems as business people, but we don't know where to go to find refuge. And you see, many people are surviving on small businesses, but who is going to help them? No one. There is nowhere to go. So it is a great challenge. And that has created poverty. People, if you have a small capital, no one to help you. The returns from that small business is small. And compared to the challenges you are facing, you can't meet your daily needs. So those are the major problems we are facing here. Otherwise, it's a very nice place. Business is there. Yeah, people are selling.
Meanwhile, Minister of Community Development and Social Services Doreen Mwamba recently indicated that the new administration is determined to bring about desired change at grassroots level by putting such measures into consideration. It remains evident that efforts will have to be enhanced if Zambia is to attain its 2030 goals of ending poverty, as only 8 years remain. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development Permanent Secretary in charge of administration, Mambo Hamaundu, has urged local authorities to ensure that they effect relevant regulations to see to it that sanity is restored to the central business districts across the country. In an interview, Mr. Hamaundu notes that all shops are mandated to have bins and proof of receipts to show that they dispose of garbage in a legal way. More in this report.
Zambia's capital city, Lusaka, despite being the face of the country, is plagued with the problem of illegal waste disposal, especially in the central business district, attributed to street vending, as well as illegal dumping of waste by shop owners. This paints the country in a bad light, especially when hosting international officials or potential investors. While working around finding permanent solutions to remove vendors off the streets, the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development has charged local authorities to be proactive. In an interview, Ministry Permanent Secretary in charge of administration Mambo Hamaundu says available regulations should be evoked, such as checking compliance levels of garbage disposal by shop owners.
Let people put their garbage in bins, and the local authorities can also begin to go around and enforce some of the measures that they have in place. There are regulations or bylaws that compel all business owners to have a contract in terms of garbage disposal. Let them implement there are adequate laws to ensure that we begin to manage the garbage properly. So it's a question of really working together. We can make our cities look a bit more clean. We can make our brothers and sisters who are involved in street vending to operate in markets and they still earn a livelihood. We're interested in ensuring that everyone has a fair share of the opportunities that are available within the context of the Zambian economy.
He has expressed disappointment that barely 2 weeks after the head of state launched a cleaning program in the CBD, it has again begun to fill with dirt.
And not to take away or to blame the public in totality. Even from the local authority point of view, I think that some local authorities have been ill-advising the residents. You know, you find that people are cleaning and they tell people to say, no, but dirt attracts dirt. So when you tell people to say Tailani Dot in the center of Cairo Road, everyone thinks that that is a dumping site. So it is our collective responsibility. Local
authorities in Lusaka have a vision of turning it into a garden city, being the country's capital. ZIPAH Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
A development analyst, Bright Zwao, has called for the construction of houses in communities with a housing problem using the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. In an interview, Mr. Zwao says the houses can be put on rent at affordable prices to generate extra income while also solving the housing problem in communities. Mr. Zwao says access to decent accommodation has been a challenge in many parts of Zambia, as unplanned settlements, locally known as shanty compounds, make up 70% of housing in urban areas.
I'm proposing that the government should start looking into developing low-cost housing and encouraging the public sector to be building low-cost housing in which the low-income earners can enter into those houses or acquire those houses at a low cost, because we can't live as a country where the housing is high. The housing is one of the measures in which you measure the high cost of living, so we need low-cost housing. The government through the council should start building houses where the low-income earners can acquire those houses. When you are destitute today, you should be able to go to council and tell them, I don't have where to stay. The council should, through their archives, provide you with where to stay. We have those houses opposite OYDC. 70% of the houses are not occupied. And when you ask them, they are saying that the prices are too ridiculous. Those houses should be led by the council. The council should be the ones providing such housing, and the government through any other statutory means, they should encourage the public sector to do what? To harmonize the housing sector.
The Zambia Institute for Policy Analysis and Research, ZIPAH, has recommended to the government to consider taking the burden of taxation away from the low-income earners in the 2023 national budget and beyond. Institution Executive Director Dr. Henrik Mpuku says reducing the tax rate for the citizens will entail putting more money in their pockets, which will stimulate aggregate expenditure. And Dr. Mpuku has also suggested that government should continue applying tough austerity measures in order to keep the budget in line and progressively reduce pressure on the economy, which will allow inflation to continue slowing down. More in this report.
Friday, 6th May 2022, Minister of Finance Dr. Situmbe Komsokotwani appealed to stakeholders to start making submissions for the 2023 national budget, including in the area of taxes. While the mining sector has in the past accused the government of policy inconsistency, especially in the area of taxes, the Zambia Institute for Policy Analysis and Research has however suggested that government should consider taking the burden of taxation away from the low-income earners in the 2023 national budget and beyond. Institution Executive Director Dr. Henrik Mpuku says reducing the tax rate for the citizens will entail putting more money in their pocket, which will stimulate aggregate expenditure.
My view, with due caution, is that government must consider taking the burden of taxation away from the low-income group. The good aspect of that is that if you adjust the tax rate, if you reduce the tax rate, what you're actually doing is putting more money into the pockets of the citizens.
Dr. Mpuku also says taxes in Zambia are already high for the ordinary people and says raising taxes even higher will become punitive to the people and companies who pay the tax.
Our tax levels are extremely high. Our top level of tax is about close to 40%, and it reaches the top level of taxation at a very low level of income. About 6,000, 7,000, you are paying the top rate of tax. The taxes to higher levels. The risk that you face is that you're going to be, it may be punitive. Punitive to the people who receive the incomes like yourself, punitive also to the companies.
And while the war between Russia and Ukraine has been forcing some stakeholders to tempt government to consider reintroducing subsidies in order to lower the cost of living, Dr. Mpuku says government should not be tempted but continue applying tough austerity measures in order to keep the budget in line, which will progressively reduce pressure on the economy, thereby reduce the inflation rate.
What arises is that government is being asked to subsidize. This may cause the budget to go astray. Okay? So, what I would suggest, in my view, is that government must continue the tough road of austerity, keep the budget in line, progressively reduce the pressure on the economy so that inflation can continue going down.
Zambia, like many other countries, is faced with various challenges, among them high poverty levels and lack of employment. Tackling these issues will require a concerted effort of all stakeholders and the Zambian citizenry. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
A Christian-based non-governmental organization has called on the church to contribute towards solving some of the country's concerns, such as internal security. Advocates for the declaration of Zambia as a Christian nation, Chairperson Bishop MFULA, says apart from offering prayers, the church also has a responsibility to contribute to the country's development as a partner in governance. Bishop MFULA was speaking when he handed over 1,500 kwacha towards the repairing of a police vehicle at Misisi Police Post in Lusaka Saturday. More in the following report.
According to Zambia Police, 14,520 criminal cases were recorded countrywide in the first quarter of 2022 as compared to 15,217 in the year 2021, and Lusaka province tops the list. A crime-free society is everyone's desire, and questions that arise what then should be the approach to reducing the higher crime rates in the country. It is for this reason a faith-based organization, Advocates for the Declaration of Zambia as a Christian Nation, has donated 1,500 kwacha to repair a police vehicle at Lusaka's Mrs. Police Post. The organization national chairperson, Bishop Billy MFULA, acknowledged the need for churches not to only give prayers but plow back into society by solving challenges society is faced with.
To serve the community better can actually be fixed, yes, be repaired so that it can also help enhance their works as they offer services of security and safety to the community. And we want to do this and to continue to do this in several places. This is a response that we are doing because the last time we came in the Covenant Week that leads to the commemoration of the Declaration of Zambia as a Christian Nation, every 29th of December, a week that follows the 29th, we make sure that we do a lot of community activities as a church, as a demonstration that Christianity is not just a lip service, but it must manifest into the actual works, practical works that we get to do in the community. And so when we came that time, we identified other needs, and it's because of this that we are actually getting to respond, to offer assistance in getting to put the vehicle back on the road. And we are continuing to do this in several communities.
And Advocates for the Declaration of Zambia as a Christian Nation National Secretary Reverend Solomon Mbulu says there is need to shift from always relying on government to sort out problems. He says that every citizen should instead identify their responsibility towards alleviating challenges the society is experiencing.
Simple donation. I was just passing through, I'm a resident pastor here in Mrs. I met the officer in charge, and he told me that all what he needed was 1,300 or 1,400 to fix the vehicle. I said, no, this vehicle cannot be done because it helps in time of crime. It also helps the community, those who cannot afford to bury the dead. Yes, for this reason, I shared with our chairman here yesterday when we had the meeting, and the chairman approved the payment. So I'm glad that the church nowadays now is participating in community development. The time is gone whereby at our church we're taking my brown envelope. We're not taking brown envelope. That's why I've come with the white envelope where we have packaged donation. So over to the chairman.
God bless you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Meanwhile, the residents expressed happiness for the gesture and hope the security will be beefed up in the area.
Tiyamikira pamene boti tandizira motoka kuti irunge ndaba njema titandiza imotoka ukapezeka muntu agwira pangwenya ulafera mnyumba imotoka imatitandiza so kuchokera pamene nafera awe tandizo kulibe so tayamikira kuli wa bishop pamene boti tandizira na church.
It is the responsibility of every citizen to heighten security measures in society and supplement government efforts in creating a crime-free environment. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News.
The Small-Scale Farmers Development Agency, SAFADA, has called for talks between the private and public sector in the agriculture subdivision as one way of increasing productivity in the area. Commending the recently launched Public-Private Partnership Dialogue Forum aimed at bringing about economic growth, SAFADA Director Boyd Mobwe says farmers need a similar program as one way of growing this sector. Mr. Mobwe says the country has been looking for ways to improve the agriculture sector as it is one of the major sources of revenue after the copper industry.
You know, I may take this opportunity to appeal to the private sector to come up with tangible measures on how they are going to help farmers. It doesn't augur well just to embrace business, you know, try to strengthen the relationship between the private sector and the farmers just for the sake of their products to be sold to the farmers. You know, farmers as recipients. But we should also be included in the planning aspect. I know we cannot intervene in their individual companies' decisions. But when they do a survey, they talk to farmers, they will understand, okay, they are saying this seed is not good, this fertilizer is not good, or this and that, you see. So that kind of arrangement, I think it's important that the private sector also consider to strengthen the relationship between themselves and the small-scale farmers so that their business can grow, as well as the farmers can grow in their economy.
Thank you for watching Camnet Television. We'll take our first commercial break. We'll be back with more news after this break.
Zavenda. Save nations, develop Africa. Connecting African countries to each other and connecting the African continent to the world. This logistics and global supply chain management group offers end-to-end solutions across all sectors of the economy: agriculture, energy, telecommunications, finance, construction, transportation, and insurance. And now, its initiatives are greener than ever, operating in line with government guidelines and working to provide energy security for Zambia and beyond. 25 companies united under one group and one vision. Zavenda. Trade and logistics made easy.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes, and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Are you a married man or woman? Are you encountering challenges in your marriage? Are you planning to take your marriage and love relationship to higher levels? Your business platform is all set for you as a couple. You are invited to attend Zambia's First Love and Marriage plus Business Conference. Amidst uncertainties in the economy, higher divorce rate in the world, plan to be one of the most successful couple in Zambia. Date 28th May 2022. Time from 9 hours to 16 hours. Participation fee 1,200 kwacha per couple. Lunch inclusive. For registration, payment can be done through MTN mobile money on 0962 965 883 or 0979 753 010 for Airtel Money. Venue: The Healing Word Ministries International. Speakers: Professor and Mrs. Catherine Munkumba. And your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilo. This is a must-attend conference. Plan and make a date with us. Your lives, marriage, and future will never be the same. Remember, we are born for greatness. Book for your seats by calling 0962 965 883. See you on the 28th May 2022.
Your love always brings me back.
Welcome back. The United Party for National Development, UPND National Youth Deputy Youth Chairperson Phineas Pomolo has advised traders at Lusaka City Market to aggressively deal with reports of slowly resurfacing cadarism before it gets out of hand. In an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Pomolo says other than running to the media, market traders should instead report the culprits to the Zambia Police Service as they have no political backing. Some drivers who sought anonymity at the market recently shared a video with Camnet News indicating that cadres have gone back to the said market.
This issue of tantameni in our government, we are not going to allow that. We want citizens to enjoy, to work for the monies that they are going to earn. This is why we have encouraged all our youths across the country. We have gone across the country making sure that our youths, they form companies and cooperatives. This is where our youths, they are going to benefit from, because they are going to work honestly. The issue of being lazy in UPND government, it is not going to be there. It's a thing of the past. So we have the plan. One of the plans that we have is to make sure that all our youths have got cooperatives, have got companies, so that they access CDF. Because what we have done as a ruling party, we have made sure that we have taken CDF to the local people so that they decide on what to do with that money. This is where those who have cooperatives and companies, they are going to benefit from, because they are going to be given contracts to build houses, to supply desks, books, and etc. So we have the plan for our youths.
The Leadership Movement Party has challenged government to publicly explain the rumors on the return of Vedanta mineral resources to the Zambian mining industry. Leadership Movement National Information and Publicity Secretary Jason Mwanza has alleged that the current administration should point out what has changed about Vedanta and what benefits it is bringing to Zambians and the mining industry. Mr. Mwanza says Zambia should by now be looking to its own people to run the mines so that the progress and benefits to the country's mineral resources can be realized, unlike leaving them to foreign entities who bring their own terms to the operations.
As Leadership Movement Party, we are saddened by the fact that once again we are in a state where our mines are going to the foreigners. I think the issue of the Vendetta saga should start by the government answering a few questions. A few questions such as, why did the previous regime take away KSCM from Vendetta? Number two, why does this regime want to give it back to them? And number three, what has changed? Once we answer those three questions, then we're going to see calmness in our country. But so far there is so much tension such that people do not understand do not have adequate information concerning this issue. Therefore, the government, it is the mandate of the government to issue out the valid information as to why they want to give back this mine to Vendetta and how much benefit it is going to bring to the Zambian people. But then they should understand and know that these people are business people. Whatever they are here to do, they are here for profit. Therefore, in the next 50 years, we'll look back and say our mines did not belong to us. We were robbed and we were looted, and it was because of those that were in power. So the government has got power to stop or give a go-ahead to what is currently happening right now in our country, but we are still saddened because for so long we've been wanting the Zambian people to own the Zambian mines.
Alliance for Community Action, SCA, says the introduction of social accountability mechanisms will go a long way in ensuring that the problem of contractors abandoning projects is put to an end. Organization Information and Advocacy Officer Andrew Banda notes that various places across the country have projects such as bridges whose construction began but have been left as white elephants. Mr. Banda says such is a waste of public resources and says within community engagement under the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, projects are guaranteed to see their completion.
Let me expand on those. And this I really hope government will look into. So when you're talking about community engagement and community involvement, you're bringing the community to say, we are bringing this bridge to you, this is the contractor, this is how much money we're giving them, these are the specs of what they're supposed to build. This is the thing which we want to. Of course, thinking maybe that started from another process of identifying that bridge as a need. So when the community is involved in that bridge and they know the resources which are being allocated to that bridge, government doesn't need to be the watchdog of that bridge anymore. The community members will start going round and asking the contractor questions. So the contractor now will have a watchdog, a local watchdog, making sure that that same bridge is being worked upon. And if the contractor abandons that site, the whistleblower, the community itself, will talk about it immediately it happens. What happens now is community don't find ownership. They don't think those things which are brought to them are theirs, when in fact they are theirs. So they don't care if they're built, they're not built, and most of the times they're not addressing the felt needs of the community. So they don't even care whether the money was released or not released. Of course, they should care because that money is their money. But for there to be improvement in how our projects are done and for community to support this project, the community needs to be involved from the get-go.
Rufunsa District Commissioner Richard Mabena has appealed to the Ministry of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development to quickly consider finishing up the infrastructure that was started by the previous government to ease up the office and house accommodation in the district. Speaking when an audit committee from the Ministry of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development visited him at his office, Mr. Mabena says office and house accommodation is a big challenge being faced in the district. He said lack of housing accommodation has affected service delivery as officers are forced to rent in Chongwe, commuting to Rufunsa on a daily basis. Principal Auditor in the Ministry of Infrastructure, Banista Mantembe, said the government is in a hurry to take development to all corners of the country, hence their visit to appreciate what is on the ground.
The creation of new districts came with infrastructure development packages. For Rufunsa district, government planned to construct 10 medium-cost houses, 20 low-cost houses, administration block, civic center, police station and 8 houses and the post office. All these projects have come to a standstill, and Rufunsa District Commissioner Richard Mabena is appealing to the Ministry of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development to consider finishing the projects to enhance service delivery and attract investment in the area.
Because when I take you to the houses which are there, you will check what was needed to do. It's just more of the issues, then finish. We go to the administration, it's about 60, 69 or 70% completion. The post office the same, but the monies, maybe some of these monies were even paid. As they were paid, what happened? Who got the monies? So as the auditing, I think you definitely you come up with a certain idea which you can bring so that maybe the houses or maybe the other structures around here can be finished. That's my plea.
The audit committee, led by Principal Auditor Banista Mantembe, visited the projects where they found that the works are substandard and that he will write a report on the matter.
A recommendation that has to be made to the powers that be so that things should happen in time, because I think our people somehow being deprived of the services that are supposed to be provided to them because of not having officers in place due to lack of infrastructure. They don't have offices, they don't have housing for their accommodation.
Most projects are voted at less than 75%. Reporting in Rufunsa district, I am Museki Wantende.
You're watching Camnet TV News. We'll take our second and final break. We'll be back with international and sports news.
We welcome you to the wonderful world of Savenda Electronics.
At Savenda Electronics, we pride ourselves in manufacturing high-quality electricity and water meters.
Boasting of the first of its kind state-of-the-art manufacturing plant in Zambia, Savenda Electronics manufactures customized smart electricity and water meters of international standards for both the local and international water and electricity utility companies. Our highly computerized factory, run by qualified staff, makes, calibrates, and electronically tests the smart meters to ensure only those meeting customer specifications are delivered to the market. Some of the main features which come with our meters includes notifications about low units, tempering, low battery, and many more customized features. Savenda Electronics provides on and off-site after-sales service and has favorable contract terms for water and electricity utility companies. Savenda Electronics, the real deal.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the ministry. Has so much data.
Mom.
Yes, baby.
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
Are you a married man or woman? Are you encountering challenges in your marriage? Are you planning to take your marriage and love relationship to higher levels? Your business platform is all set for you as a couple. You are invited to attend Zambia's First Love and Marriage plus Business Conference. Amid its uncertainties in the economy, higher divorce rate in the world, plan to be one of the most successful couple in Zambia. Date 28th May 2022. Time from 9 hours to 16 hours. Participation fee 1,200 kwacha per couple. Lunch inclusive. For registration, payment can be done through MTN mobile money on 0962 965 883 or 0979 753 010 for Airtel Money. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International. Speakers, Professor and Mrs. Catherine Munkumba. And your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chino. This is a must-attend conference. Plan and make a date with us. Your lives, marriage, and future will never be the same. Remember, we are born for greatness. Book for your seats by calling 0962 965 883. See you on the 28th May 2022.
Your love always brings me back.
And now in international news, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan will be the next president of the UAE, the Federal Supreme Council announced on Saturday. The 61-year-old leader will be the country's third president, succeeding his brother Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, who passed away on May 13 at the age of 73. In other news, Egypt is in full wheat harvest season and farmers are actively collecting their crops. Shakir Governorate in the north of the country is the largest province for the cultivation of the cereal, with a total area of about 423,000 acres. Mohamed Hassan, a farmer in Shakir, says last year 1 acre yielded about 101 bushels of wheat, but that this year the acre is yielding about 112 bushels. For more in international news, here's a roundup.
Egypt is in full wheat harvest season and farmers are actively collecting their crops. The Shakir Governorate in the north of the country is the largest province for the cultivation of the cereal, with a total area of about 423,000 acres. But the local production only covers a fraction of the North African country's needs, as it is the world's largest wheat importer. Last year, 1 acre yielded about 101 bushels of wheat, but this year 1 acre yielded about 112 bushels, so there's an improvement. The production this year is better than last year because we're using new seeds called 171. Wheat is a key food item for the country where bread is an essential part of the diet. For many years, Egypt has mainly depended on wheat imports from Russia and Ukraine, but the war between these two countries has drastically pushed up cereal prices, and Egyptians have been facing a harsh inflation which reached 13% last April.
The United Arab Emirates President Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan was laid to rest in Abu Dhabi. The ruler of Abu Dhabi Emirate died on Friday at the age of 73 after years-long battle with illnesses. His death triggered a period of mourning in the state.
Sheikh Khalifa took over as the UAE's second president in November 2004. He succeeded his father as the 16th ruler of Abu Dhabi, the richest of the federation's 7 emirates. He made rare public appearances since 2014 after surgery following a stroke. The late UAE president was laid to rest in Abu Dhabi's Al Batain cemetery. His expected successor and half-brother Mohammed bin Zayed conducted the funeral. Sheikh Zayed tweeted that the people of the Emirates are united in grief as they mourn the loss of the leader and president. According to the constitution, Vice President and Premier Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, ruler of Dubai, will act as president for now. Later, the Federal Council, which groups the rulers of the 7 Emirates, will meet to elect a new president within 30 days. The most visible testament to the legacy of the late president is the world's tallest building, Dubai's Burj Khalifa. The Burj Khalifa was renamed after he bailed out the debt-hit emirate when the global financial crisis struck in the year 2009. Flags flew at half-mast above the Interior Ministry in Abu Dhabi and other landmarks at the start of 40 days of official mourning. Work will remain suspended in the public and private sectors until Tuesday. After the official announcement about his death was made, tributes for the late president poured in. US President Joe Biden referred to him as a true partner and friend of the United States. India has declared state mourning on Saturday as a mark of respect for the late president. Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett offered his sincerest condolences to the UAE government and its people.
Let's now have some sports news. The Zambia under-16 boys national team will tomorrow Sunday play an international friendly against Georgia national side FC Lokomotiv Tbilisi. The team is currently in Georgia, where they have played 2 matches at the UEFA under-16 International Development Tournament, and Lokomotiv Tbilisi requested for a friendly after they were left impressed by the young boys' performance at the tournament. The tournament had its format tinkered after Saudi Arabia failed to pitch at the UEFA-instigated youth tournament. Kickoff for the match at Lokomotiv Stadium will be at 12 hours Central African time. And Zambia under-16 coach Aaron Kawangu has welcomed the friendly and says it will increase the experience levels of his players. In the first tournament match, Zambia drew 1-0 with host Georgia, but lost 4-3 on penalties before posting 3 past Azerbaijan in the 3-1 win at the GFF Football Academy in Rustavi. The young Chipolopolo have 4 points, followed by Georgia with 2, while tail-enders Azerbaijan have 0. They now await the result of the championship decider between Georgia and Azerbaijan on Monday. A loss for Georgia will confirm Zambia as champions. To end Camnet television news, the headlines once again. Government guns down 1 marauding lion in KAFUE district. ZIPAH tells government to ease tax burdens on citizens. Bishop MFULA urges the church to be a solution to the country's needs. In international news, United Arab Emirates appoints His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al NAHYAN as next president. And in sports news, under-16 boys attract Georgia top-flight side test. We now look at the Camnet verse of the day, which is coming from Psalms 82, verse 5 to 7. They do not know or understand, they wander in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are shaken. I said, you are gods, you are sons of the Most High. However, you will die like men and fall like any other ruler. Thank you for watching Camnet Television News. My name is Jeffrey Zembo. Have a good night.